I want to talk about deceleration. I think there's a bit of confusion around this term when it comes to putting. The reason I think that is because the amount of pushback I always get on social media, particularly on Twitter, or X as it's now called, is whenever I talk about acceleration, because that's the problem any putting coach will tell you they deal with on nearly a daily basis, is golfers that rapidly accelerate in the downswing, generally caused by too slow a backswing, sometimes by too short a backswing, sometimes by both of those things. So we talk a lot about trying to get golfers away from that and trying to get into more of a coasting downswing or a constant acceleration, a glide through the ball, because of how much we deal with rapid acceleration and we see the problems it causes golfers. So whenever we talk about it, I always get pushback, and it will generally be, I'll get accused of, oh, you're coaching people to decel, you're going to cause people to decelerate, that's nonsense, that's rubbish, as you can imagine, gets quite abusive at times. I've even had DMs about it, people giving you sticks, saying that you're talking rubbish and all these things and blah, blah, blah. So I think what people don't realize is there's middle ground. So just because we don't want you to rapidly accelerate doesn't mean we want you to decelerate and quit on your putts, okay? It's finding that middle ground is where I would say most of the good putters in the world are, okay? There are exceptions. You can do it in different ways. There's not one way to putt. But you ask any putting coach, they will probably tell you that they like a feeling of, not having to, make up for a slow backswing with a really aggressive downswing and hit through the ball. All right? So finding that middle ground, really good, really useful. Best to be done with a coach using technology. I've been using technology for over a decade that measures acceleration, whether it's Sam Putt Lab, Capital Golf. These things measure acceleration, and they will tell us pretty quickly if a golfer's struggling, they're quite often accelerating rapidly. I do get people now and again who have a decelerating downswing and it's causing them problems, but it's so rare compared with the other end of the spectrum. It's not, I just generally would say to golfers, don't worry too much about it, okay? Get in tune with your rhythm, find a nice flow. When I say a nice flow, it would be like, that the putter goes back and through in a nice kind of rhythm. And some people do it with a more, a faster tempo. Some are slower. But the good putters, one thing they'll have in common generally is it's not like a change of pace. So it's like slow then quick. And the opposite would be really fast then really slow. You just don't see that putting stroke very often. It's rare, okay? So that's why we talk about acceleration all the time. And it doesn't mean we want people to decelerate, okay? Another thing I'll say on this is just because a backstroke is longer than a downstroke, a follow-through, that doesn't mean it's deceleration, which means that's really bad. Because that's what I've been told. When I've posted a video maybe of myself hitting a putting stroke and my follow-through shorter, I'll get told that's a terrible putting stroke, that's deceleration. Some of the best putters in the world, a lot of the best putters in the world, putt like that, and they're not decelerating, okay? Cam Smith, arguably the best putter of the last couple of years. Look at his putting stroke. Sometimes his follow-through is about half of what his backswing was, okay? And I'm not saying that's how everybody should putt. That's how he putts, and he's maybe the best putter in the world. John Ram, longer backstroke, shorter follow through. Max Homa, there's loads of them at the top of the game who putt like that. And it doesn't, so, I mean, there's the evidence. Don't believe me, just watch golf on the TV. So many of them putt like that. Some of them have a more even stroke, and there are still some that'll putt with a longer follow through, but that's I would say that's almost dying away at the top of the game. There's less people putting like that now than ever before. So there are different ways to do it for sure, but just because a follow through is shorter than a backstroke doesn't mean deceleration, okay? And you can't tell everything just by looking at backstroke follow through ratio either. There's ways to, you could have a shorter follow through and have a rapid acceleration as well. That's why I think the most important thing isn't necessarily the backstroke and the follow-through ratio. It's the flow of the stroke, okay? So, and that can be done quicker, slower, but try and find a nice flow, okay? That would be my main advice. Find a nice flow. Don't panic about deceleration. Don't think that just because I don't want you to rapidly accelerate, I am promoting deceleration. I'm not, okay? So, let's practice a nice flow, okay? So it's that kind of feeling. The putter feels quite even back and through, okay? So give it a try, and please, if you are in that camp of really worried about decel, don't worry about it. Hardly anybody does it, okay? Thanks for watching. Hope it helps you.